start again. All right, so let's go, ladies. So now that we have asked ourselves questions that are pertinent, we need to know, set a direction. What are we going to do? What are we setting out to do? So that now is our aim. What is the aim of our experiment? So
to remove the ink stain with one of the solutions.
okay. All right. So let me just pick one of the hypotheses that we came up with.
It's baking soda.
All right.
Liquid soap.
So if baking soda came in first, if baking soda is applied to the ink mark, then it will be, I'm just adding some more words, ladies, and you can see that, listen, there's no one suit to write this thing, then it will be completely removed.
Yes,
All right, so I do this sometimes to show you that you can...
Fix it completely.
Oh, thank you, my darling.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss.
Yes, my dear.
Miss, I joined late, so I'm like a bit confused on what we're doing.
Why are you confused?
Miss, because I joined late, miss, so I don't know what you're doing.
Me too, Miss Anna, and I keep getting disconnected.
All right, now what we're trying to do, right? We're designing an experiment based on the problem that was presented. So the problem was that a student accidentally got ink on another one's shirt. And we're trying now, we're imagining that we're at school and we're trying to get the ink stain out of the shirt. So the only thing that the lab has available is baking soda solution, liquid soap, acetone, which is like nail polish remover, alcohol, distilled water, and anything else was there? No, I think that was
It's and liquid soap.
And the liquid soap, right? So we are now, after we brainstormed about it, right? Thinking about, boy, the material that the uniform is made out of, the solutions that are given, can it make it worse? Is it too harsh? Is it going to discolor the shirt, right? And from that now, we came up with the baking soda, right? Some persons think liquid soap. I was suggesting acetone. So we're sticking with baking soda for now. So we're saying if baking soda is applied to the ink mark, then it will be completely removed. Now, our next step after the hypothesis is to have an aim, right? An aim tells us what we are trying to achieve. So the aim is related to my hypothesis. So I'm just writing the hypothesis here just to remind ourselves of what we were thinking about. So we are thinking that baking soda would be it. So what are we set out to do? So we're going to use terms like to determine, to investigate, to find. Which one do you think we can use?
Miss
Liquid.
Miss, what are we talking about?
So to determine, we're writing our aim. To determine if what?
If baking soda will get the ink mark removed, completely removed.
Very good. To determine if baking soda can completely remove ink mark. See it? And as you look at the hypothesis and you read the aim, you know. Once you see the hypothesis and you read the aim, you see the relationship there. My hypothesis spoke about baking soda, and my aim is now testing baking soda. All right, let me know if I can move on.
So, Miss, for the aim, you write your hypothesis first and then the aim.
Right, so hypothesis and then aim. Because you made the prediction first before you set out to do something.
Oh. Finish, Miss a screenshot it now.
Okay, all right. After the aim,
Yes.
what do we have? We're going to
Apparatus
It's
or
apparatus and material.
very good. So we're not going to list out everything, but just to get an idea, what are some of the things that we're going to need?
baking
Mesa
soda.
basin.
soda.
Thank you very much. You know how many persons forget the main thing that they need for the experiment? So baking soda, yes, what
It's
else?
water and the basin.
Water.
Yes.
Mesa. Okay.
Miss the
Bubble and
fabric
pen.
needs
Brush.
to have the ink on it.
Hold on. We need the fabric. Yes. All right. Someone said a brush. Good. You could have included it. What else? Something very, very
Miss, you
important.
could have gloves too.
Yes, we could have, but there is a very,
Miss,
very,
what did
very
you start
important.
with?
When it starts with, look
Yes,
at what
miss.
you have and think about what we're trying to get rid of.
So,
Ink.
the ink.
Yes, we need the ink.
Miss, why? That's the thing that you're getting out.
That is why I need
That's
it
why you
to
need the
so you can get it out.
The ink on the fabric.
Yes,
All
to
right.
put it so you can get it
I'm
out.
confused. The ink is on the fabric. Then why do we
No,
need
you
more
don't put
milk?
it on it yet. You're going to use these, all of these
To
to
test
perform
if
the
But
it can
experiment.
get rid
wasn't
of
it already on the shirt when the student let the ink go on the
All
person's
right.
shirt?
I like.
Maybe it's just to test if it's going to make
Hold
it
on.
worse or better.
I like where the conversation is going. So she's saying, why you going to need all of this and you already have the shirt with the ink on it? The other side is saying, no, you can't test it on it as yet. So think about it. Why would they want to test the solutions on the shirt as yet?
Miss, can I answer?
Yes, go ahead and answer her.
Miss, to test if it would have made it worse or better.
Okay,
Right.
so much people can't talk because I can't hear. It's
All right, so hold
like
on now.
feedback.
Who was talking? Gabrielle was talking?
No, Miss
Jelisa.
Jelisa.
Oh, Jelisa. I always mix up the two names. All right, so go ahead, Jelisa.
Miss, they use the ink to put it on the fabric to test if the baking soda would make it worse or would it make it the situation better.
Very good. Remember we were questioning before? That's why we say you ask the questions before, you know.
Oh wait, Miss, so you would get a new fabric, Miss and ink it, Miss and
Oh,
then.
so Miss, so you're doing a different.
Okay.
So you Miss, you're doing the same thing. Miss, you're gonna test it out before you actually.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
Miss, I thought it was like the fabric that
but you're actually going to like go into.
There you go. So this is it, ladies. You remember our questions, you know, we're wondering if it's too harsh, if it's going to bleach out the shirt, if it's going to spread the ink, right? So really and truly, in a situation like this, you don't want to work on the actual thing as yet until you figure out a solution. So what we do is something called a simulated situation. So a simulation, all right? That is what we do. So what we do is like recreate the problem to try and find the solution.
Okay.
Getting it now?
Yes, Miss.
Very good, because you can't also, it's the one blows with the one ink mark, and you want to figure out which one the solution. So you can't really say, okay, rub it with the baking soda first, rub it with the liquid soap, put on acetone on it. No, that is probably where you're going to have this hole in the shirt after, because you tested it on the one spot. So what we're doing now is recreating, right? So the fabric that we are using here is not the actual shirt, but the same fabric that the shirt is made out of. All All right. So all we could do, we could get an older shirt, an older school shirt, and use it from there. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have that because I want to clear the screen. Have that yet?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Very good.
Yes. Miss,
Someone asking a question, Miss Danny?
miss, I can go back, please.
You have to tell me to where previous slide.
Miss, yes,
The
miss,
question.
the materials and apparatus.
Oh no, man. Somebody going to give you that one. Remember, I said as we go along, it's going to clear.
Gabriel, can you send the pictures to me after?
No problem.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so let's do the fun part. This part I know you can do without problems. What are the variables? So what's
Mr. Independent.
Uh-huh.
Mm,
What's
Miss the
the
independent variable, the
type
baking
of
soda.
Yeah, you're saying it. So these solutions.
Mr. Type of fabric you're going. Wait.
No,
Oh
the
yes,
solutions.
yes.
The
Remember,
type
that's
of
what we're changing
solution.
up. Yes, remember, those are what we're
Oh.
changing up. So the baking soda, the liquid soap, the acetone, etc. Right? What is the dependent? What is responding?
Mr. Ink.
Mr. Ink.
Yes, good. Right? And I can put intensity here. The intensity of the color. That's what we're looking for.
Miss, that is what I was going to say. Miss, what I was going to say it like that.
Tell me what how you were going to say it.
Miss, I was going to say how deep, not really deep, but how deep, yes, Miss, how deep the color is.
Okay, okay, very good. Same thing. So the intensity. All right. What are we keeping constant?
Mr. Fabric.
Mr. Fabric.
Ah, look at that. Very good, ladies. So we're keeping the fabric constant. What else?
It's the amount of it.
It's the amount of solution.
No, it's hold on. Let me look at the names. It's who afraid to talk. Somebody timid to talk.
It's a fine.
All
Miss, would
right,
you
you're
call the
saying.
control variable the thing that you're working on?
The thing that doesn't change.
Right. So what are we keeping constant?
Miss, the fabric and the amount of solution you're using.
Very good. So volume of solution. Same thing as saying amount, but we measure solution volume. All right. Anything else?
It's the amount of what? Wait.
So let me just point out to you. It depends on how the technique that you're going to use. So here you say the amount of water and then you stop. But then yes, the amount of water, because guess what? You're gonna have to wash these solutions off. You're gonna have to
That's what I
wash
was
these
thinking,
solutions off.
But
you know,
because I
yes.
didn't hear you guys mention water.
Yes,
Yes.
it was in material.
The distilled water was there. Yes, it was. So you can reuse the distilled water to wash it off. That's no problem. All right. Anything else we need to keep constant? So the fabric, the volume of the solutions that we're using. Anything else? Something very important. You left it off the
It's the amount of baking soda we're going to use.
So this is here. We're going to turn it into a solution. It's the same thing you left off your list of apparatus.
Oh, Miss, the amount of ink.
Thank you.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
The size of the ink mark. So look on it now. If I decide to just put a mark like that and say, get it out. And then I decide to do this and I'm coloring. Honestly, no. Which one is going to be easier to get rid of?
This
Come on.
one.
Yeah. So it's not gonna be
Anyone.
fair. It's not gonna be fair if I just brush it over it and just barely put in the mark on it, and then I go on the other one and I color.
Miss, I would exchange that one with somebody else.
You're exchanging it. Yeah, man, that's going to be
Miss,
too
what
much.
is the control setup? Miss, I've never.
So
Mr. Basin.
what about the basin?
Mr. Control setup.
What we do to the basin? You just have the basin, all right. That's it.
Miss, what it is, Miss, I need to write it down.
All right, so
I don't remember.
the control setup, remember, we'll have the control set because we want to compare. All right. Now, I can tell you, not all labs will require a control setup, but I put it in this one because we are looking now at the intensity of the color. You remember, she said how deep the color was? Now, the only way we're going to know how deep or light the color is getting is if we have the original. So the control setup here, we would need one that is not experimented on any at all.
So I was asking for the meaning.
Yeah, man, meaning, that is it. The setup that's not experimented on. That's it. It's not experimented on any at all. So the marks that you...
That's not experimented on?
Yes. So what you're going to find is that you're going to have one mark that you're doing absolutely nothing to. So you just have it there. Okay, have that now?
Yes,
Yes, Miss.
All right. So we are on to know what steps are we going to take? What's going to be our first step?
Miss, add the ink to the fabric.
All right, so add the ink to the fabric. Now, picture in your head, okay, add the ink to the fabric. On top of that, picture that you're using about 4 different solutions. How are you going to work that one out?
Miss not 4 different types of fabric, Miss, but use different parts of the fabric and put ink on it, or probably separate it in 4.
Ah, so our first step is now to do what? We need to
separate the fabric.
All right, so let's just use cut. It's easier. So cut fabric. And I'm gonna put 5 pieces. I'm gonna put 5 pieces here because remember we need the control. All right, so cut fabric in 5 pieces. Great. What's step 2?
Add ink to each of the fabric.
So just ink alone or
Miss blue ink.
Miss, or you can say add 5 drops of ink on the fabric.
Ah, so add the same amount of ink.
Miss, would the color matter?
Each fabric, yes, it has to be the same. So it's the same, you have to go pretty much and get the pen that the student used and use that ink. So add the same amount of ink on each fabric, yes. Number 3. Picture yourself doing this, picture yourself doing it while you're telling me. So you cut it.
Then add the solution to the add the same amount of solution to the
very good.
And before you reach number 2, Miss. Miss, before you reach number 2, Miss, aren't you supposed to tell them what pen you're supposed to use, Miss, like the same type of ink?
Yes, so that would have been in your materials listed. That would be in your materials.
No, Miss, but what I was saying, Miss, is that for number 2, you have add the same amount of ink in each fabric. But what I was saying is that couldn't it have said add the same amount of blue or red or black ink?
Oh, no, man, that's what I'm saying. So in your materials, you would have identified what ink you're using.
Okay, Miss.
Right.
Wouldn't that come in the question?
Right, so I can just come down here now and said add the same amount of ink because you told them in the materials what to get.
Okay, Miss.
All right, so number 3 now, so we'll add the ink cut the fabric, add the ink. What we doing now?
Add the same amount of solution on the
All
fabric
right,
on all the
so
fabrics
look
with
at
the
what I'm
ink.
going to do now. I'm going to say measure first. And you know, the good thing is to actually tell the person how much to use, right? Because you don't want to leave that window out where we have some persons who are stingy and probably just use 2 drops of the solution, and then we'll have the heavy handers now that pour the entire bottle out on the fabric. So just picking a number, 10 sounds like a nice number. So I'm going to say 10 cm cubes. So measure 10 cm cubes
Excuse
up.
me, miss.
Yes, darling.
Excuse me, miss, like you were saying about you need to tell them the amount of what's the measurement they should put for the solution to put on the fabric, miss. Miss, aren't you supposed to do for the same thing for the ink, miss? Because you wouldn't want them to use the ink all over the fabric.
Yes, so someone had said, was it 5 drops you said?
Yes, Miss Rihanna said
Yes,
5
miss,
drops.
Yes.
I said the 5
Miss, and
drops.
for the
Right.
and for the measurement, miss, wouldn't you have to use the same miss, the same thing that, like, if you have this small little test tube, miss, you're going to use use that, or if you have this big thing, miss, you use that.
For this one, so if you wanted, we could have put using a measuring cylinder. So using a measuring cylinder, we could have put that there. So using a measuring cylinder, right? Measure 10 cm cubes of each solution. Very good, ladies. All right, so we'll cut, we'll add the drops, we measured out the solution. What are we going to do next?
Add the solution.
Miss, add the solution.
Add the solution.
All right, so apply each solution
to each fabric.
2 separate fabrics. Right, what are we going to do after that?
Yes, observe.
All right, so we can say let sit. In other words, let it sit down until what? No, give me a time.
It's
It's
half an
30
hour.
minutes.
30 minutes. All right, so let's sit for 30 minutes. Then observe and record intensity.
Miss, so wouldn't you wash it off first before you actually record how each of them react?
Ah, okay, okay. So backtrack now. Right, so we're rewinding. All right. So after 30 minutes, okay, wash with
Distilled water.
Yes, I'll add this for you to tell you what we like to do when we don't want persons to use too much. We say wash with minimum amount
of
water. That's what we like to say.
Then record intensity of
All right, so wash with minimum amount of water. Nice.
Number 6, record.
And then number 6 is to record observation. And this is a line that you can use to, ladies.
And then number 7, add your conclusion.
All right, so let me tell you why we don't need number 7. Because every single lab is supposed to have a conclusion. So you don't need to tell anyone doing an experiment unless it's like me teaching you, then I'll remind you. But in like your steps, you can just leave it as record observation as the last step, because a conclusion is a must. All labs, it don't even matter the nature of the
Miss Cake Cake.
Miss God Cake.
Miss
Miss
is
God
back.
Cake.
Oh, she's back.
Yes, I am back. I can't believe this. I hope somebody got that.
Miss, I didn't get it.
Oh my
I
goodness.
got
You
it.
got it?
I got
Miss,
it.
I can send it in the group.
Okay, thank you, honey. I don't know what. I just know I saw the thing went blank and then I just see the Zoom thing circling.
Miss, I screenshot it, Miss, from me say, let me tell you why we don't need number 7.
Thank you, my darling. I think we're all thanking you because I couldn't write that over. All right, but that's good. That's good. That's good. All right. Any precautions you can think about? Any precautions? Someone was mentioning gloves.
Miss
Miss
safety
Anna.
goggles.
Right. So goggles and the gloves, very good because you remember.
Make sure your hair is tied up.
Exactly. So remember, some of these things are harsh, right?
Yes.
What else could we think about? Something that might affect the result. A
Is
precaution.
the amount? No.
The precaution. If you think about ink, you know, because I think it was Heinz that said that we were to add the 5 drops.
Yes.
You know, we could have included Heinz. We could have said that we could have used a fine capillary tube. So a capillary tube is like an open needle. If I, it's like it's a very,
Miss the fat, it kind of fat, Miss, and you have like a little pump at the top, and you pump it out. You pump out the
oh,
liquid.
that one is a drop-in pipette.
Okay.
That one is a drop-in pipette. All right, so I can give you a precaution for the drop-in pipette also. So the capillary tube is a very, very, very fine straw. All right, so think about blood, the capillaries in your body, how thin they are. So your capillary tube is a very fine glass tube. Let me see if I can find. Oh,
Is it like one of those needles at the doctor?
Yes,
yes.
Miss, when you're giving your blood or drawing your blood, I think.
Ah, right. So let me see if I can
A
find.
needle is a needle for drawing blood or anything else.
Find capillary tube. I'm wondering if I can find an image, a good image. They're very, very small. Yes, my darling.
Lisa, can you explain the part that you're when you said measure 10 centimeters cube of solution of each solution using a
Okay, sure. Sure. All right. So look at what we have, ladies. You remember someone said about drawing the blood. See there? So
you're not seeing your screen.
Miss,
oh, you're not. Oh, guess what happened now? Remember when Zoom kicked me off? Okay, so that's the problem because I got kicked off. All right, seeing it now?
Oh, yes, yes, Miss.
Right, see there?
That
so
existed at
this very small
what is
tube.
that?
Miss,
Right?
where's the needle in that?
No, there's no needle. It's a very fine straw that pulls up liquid based on capillary action. All right, so it's some very fine, see them here in the container, very, very fine straw, very fine tube.
Miss, have you used
And
it
Miss,
before?
how does it?
So Miss,
Yeah,
all
ma'am, we
along
have
was
used
it
it
needle
already.
they were
Is it
using?
How
just
does it suck
sucking
up
up
the
it?
blood?
By
Miss, I
capillary
don't insert
action.
it.
No, so all you have to do, the solution that you have, once you put it in, it gets pulled up naturally into the very small tube. So think of your regular drinking straw before it turns to paper straw. When you had the plastic straws and you put it in the juice, do you realize that some of it is pulled up into the straw?
Yes, Miss.
Yes,
And Miss,
yes.
sometimes when you put your finger on top of it and
I normally
the liquid
that is it.
normally
That is it.
don't.
And you can put your finger over it and you can collect the juice. So that is it. So that's your capillary tube.
Wait, Miss, so that hurts?
That one, no man, it just pulls it up naturally. There's no and how we use it in the lab, we use it to transfer, like you can transfer some of your liquid. So the ink, what we can do is to use it to pull up the ink and then dot it on the fabric.
Miss Olga probably
Someone
have to put that
else.
in our materials.
Miss,
Right.
Mr.
So yep. So hold on
Miss,
now. We had to have that in our materials. Remember, I was telling you that I like to leave a gap in the materials, because once you start writing your steps, you realize that you may need more things.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
capillary tube could be one. Someone was asking about a drop-in pipette. Here you go.
Yes, Miss, I was asking about that.
Right.
Yes,
So that is your drop-in pipette. Right? So a precaution for your drop-in pipette would be with the tip of it. Right? Now, what happens is that medications have this, ladies, especially like the ones for babies. So
yes,
medications will have this, but the problem is when you dip this in the solution, it usually gathers at the tip. And if you just want 5 drops, it means that you're gonna have to wait until when you take it out of the solution, wait for the excess to drip off before you apply it to the shirt, because you're gonna end up with more than the 5. Getting it?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, miss.
Right. All right. Someone was asking about the 10 cm cubes. So we're going to use a measuring cylinder. All right. So here is our measuring cylinder. This one has colored liquid. Very good. So here is our measuring cylinder, ladies. And what we'll do is for each solution, we're going to pour out the 10 and probably store it in a test tube until we're ready for it. Or if you're at home doing it, then you use a cup until you're ready for it.
Miss, we're supposed to go and use baking soda. Can I still put it in this?
So we're going to mix it out in water so that it dissolves.
Miss Olga actually dissolve the baking soda?
Yes, man.
This is why I told you to go for the liquid soap, but no, you guys wanted baking soda.
It's not going to help.
All right,
Liquid
baking
soap
soda
for
not going to
president,
work.
liquid soap
No, it will work.
2020.
All right, hold on. To be fair, I did think of that. And so see, I did put it in here, baking soda solution. So you would have gotten the solution from the lab, not the dry baking soda.
Miss, that not going to work then?
I told you.
Why it's not going to work? You don't know?
Because the baking soda dissolve is less stronger than it being just the raw baking soda in itself.
But we know, but guess what?
Oh,
now?
it's not the raw bacon.
All right,
No.
guess what now? You know, that is an experiment by itself.
Yes, miss.
The liquid, so the baking soda being used in the solid state versus dissolving it, that is an experiment by itself. You know that? You realize that?
Yes, miss.
Ah, very good.
Miss, you're getting me in the experiment mood now.
Yes, and I am so happy. See, I am happy, because guess what? Guess what? You are going to design something over the weekend.
Oh my miss.
So guess what?
Ready. I'm ready.
Miss, where we're going to get seawater?
Ah, remember we talking
Seawater,
about
what are you
simulation?
talking about?
So she's looking at number 1. Investigate the effect of seawater on iron. You remember we spoke about simulating?
Miss,
So-
I know what will happen, miss. It will rot.
Miss,
All
I'll
right,
take the
so-
one with the salt
Add
and
some salt
melting
to it. I
ice.
get seawater.
So hold on now. How can we make quote unquote seawater at home?
Go to
Miss,
the sea.
Miss salt
water.
Mix
Yeah, man, you
seawater.
just mix some salt water. That's all you have to do. Mix some salt water. Right? So
I
this
don't
is it,
trust
ladies.
salt and ice, you know. I don't want it to burn my skin.
No, you're not. You're not experimenting in your hand. Please don't do that. All right. So this is it, ladies. You're going to have this to try. All right. So I'm not pressuring you. I just expect everyone to be at part 1 for our next class, which is doing what we did a while ago. Figuring out what the hypothesis is, the materials, the aim, the method. All right. Now, if you think you can go on to trying the experiment that you design, please do.
But
All right.
excuse me, miss.
Yes.
Miss, but these experiments are not as detailed as the
I know, because this is it.
So they come up with all of the different how we're going to use the material, Miss, because this look like it's just going to need a few materials. Like
No, man,
number
so that is
two.
what I want you to explore. So I didn't go as detailed because I'm also giving the option for you to choose something on your own.
Okay.
Right? So these are just suggestions, but who was it brought up a good experiment that she could do, looking at baking soda solution versus using the baking soda to get out ink. You know, you could do that one.
Yes, Miss.
Right? So
Miss
you
can
could do
those?
that one. So ladies, she can do that one. You can try the ink one itself that is on this presentation. You can try it. I have no problems with that. You can try the
Salt and
remember,
ice.
right? You remember the one that we did about the soda? If you want to go back to that, if you want to with the carbonated drink, the one from last class, if you want to try that, that's no problem. If not, you can do the salt and the melting ice, right? What effect does the salt melt the ice faster? Yes or no? All right, you can look on antacids. I was trying to think of things that you can find in and around your home, right? You can think of antacids, right? If none of the three appeal to you, think of one, but don't come next week telling me that you don't have any. That's all I ask. All right. Okay. So at least up to part one, ladies, figure out the aim, figure out the method, all of those good stuff. If you can, then carry out the experiment. But I'm asking you, record it, please. Not record as in just writing it down, but do a mini video or like a picture collage or something like that so that we can see what you did. Or if you want to opt to do it live next class, let me know. So if you want to set it up and then come and show us the experiment, then I am good with that.
Miss, remember only
yes, Miss, we can do it live in class, Miss, because we have so much homework. And I won't remember that I have that to do.
All right. So plan it out, ladies. And just have something for next week. Please don't come here and everybody's like,
So we're doing it in class?
Miss, everybody in class,
please,
Miss, we're doing it in
class. Experiment.
All right, repeat your question.
Miss who, Miss?
You. We have less than a minute.
Miss,
so
I was asking if we can do it in class so I can experience everybody else experiment.
All right, I'll put a poll. I'm going to put a poll on Google Classroom, and depending on the response, then we take it from there. Okay. I'll put a poll and we'll vote. Okay?
Please vote, do it in class.
Yes, it's true.
All right.
Please.
All right, ladies.
We haven't remembered that.
All right, so the meeting is actually going to